So I'm going to show you the beginning of how to complete these set of instructions you see written here. We're going to define a function that prints a certain number of asterisks and then makes a mountain of stars. You will call the function 3 times to create a design. The design, when it's completed, will look something like that. Okay? Before we even create our function, let's just figure out how to start making the design. A good way to do that, I think, would be a while loop. So I'm going to say x equals 1, because I'm just picking that, because I know I have to have a variable when I make a while loop. I'm going to say while x is less than or equal to, how many do I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It gets up to 6 over here, so I could do 5 or 6, whatever I want to do. I'll just do 5 this time. And I'm going to say while x is less than or equal to 5, or 6, whatever you want to do, colon, enter, and I want it to print an asterisk. How do we keep a while loop from being infinite? You have to increment it. So we're going to say x plus equals 1 because I want to increment it just by 1. That's what I want to do. So I run it, and it prints 1 star. Well, why does it only print 1? Well, because we just said print just a plain old asterisk. There's a fancy way that you can say print this thing multiple times, and it's as simple as saying whatever I want to print times, using another asterisk, and whatever number I want to multiply by. So you could do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but I want to have the asterisks be printed as many times up until this. So since we have this counter here that is increased by 1 every time, and we want this to increase by 1, why don't we just say times x? Because that's my counter. Another way you could do it is say star equals asterisk, and then say print star times x. And to make it a little bit easier to understand, make it a little easier, we could say counter, 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 counter. So this is saying we're starting at 1, and while counter is less than or equal to 5, print the star this many times, and add 1 to the counter every time. So we'll run it, and that's what it does. Okay. So how do we get this in a loop? Or it already is in a loop. How do we get this in a function? Easy. We're going to define a function called starDesign, and parentheses, colon, and all we have to do is take this and put it inside. You probably actually want to take this out, or leave this out, and just make sure you select all that's supposed to be inside the function and indent it, and just remove it from here. So now, outside the function, we have created our variable called star, we've created our counter, and we do the things. Let me run it and make sure it's okay. It doesn't do anything. Good. Down here we call it and say star design. This does not take parameters because there's nothing in here and there's nothing in here in our definition. So we run it. It doesn't like it. Oh, it's because it's a local variable. So we do have to stick the variable definition inside of it. Okay? This is just how we fix things. I forgot about that. So we run it, and it works as expected. But it's not doing exactly what I want it to do. It's not doing this mountain design here, where it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, and so on and so on. It does this as many times as I call it. By the way, this is being called 3 times. starDesign is being called 3 times over here. So if I call starDesign 3 times over here, that's what it does. I'm going to stop right here, and I want you to figure out how to change this function to make the output this, instead of just these that it already has. You should only have to print it, or you should only have to call it 3 times, and you should not have to make a new function. Just alter the one that I've already made.